Hello everybody, welcome. So basically in this individual reading for a Virgo, this is going to be for Virgo, and it's going to go for October the 19th to October 29th of 2025. So basically in this wonderful reading for you Virgo, I understand that there are things you must learn first. I understand that you need to have your own good quality and everything else. You need to pay attention on how you're feeling in that way, because there is the way of how you're feeling in that way, and this is how it goes. So you understand what you're going to be feeling in that perspective, right? That's how it goes. So you have to understand that. But believe me, that this is the way it kind of goes in that way. And you think that, okay, everything's going to be fine. But this is, you need to understand of how it goes in that way, right? You have to enjoy what you're doing in that way, because this is the way it kind of works in that criteria of how it goes. So this is the way it seems to be. So you have to understand that you need to believe it, you have to acknowledge it, you have to do exactly what you can. But this is, you need to believe that everything's going to be fine, and you have to know how it goes in that way, because you think that everything's going to be fine. But this is the way how it works, right? This is how it's going to be. So this is the way it is, and it's the way it kind of is for you Virgo. I need to understand what's happening in this criteria. But the way this is, you need to understand what's right, what's wrong. You know how dedicated it is, and you need to feel your own ways about knowing what to do. And you think that, okay, everything's gonna be fine. Yes, but you have to understand that, right? That's how it goes. So you have to believe that in wonderful ways, and you think, okay, this is going to be very, very intense, or this is how it goes, right? So this is the way it works. So you have to understand that this is the way it goes, right? So this could be you versus them in this situation, but you never know what's going on, right? So this is the way it is. So we're going to figure out who's on the left side and who's on the right side, and we're going to figure out who's in the middle of the situation, and this is the way it kind of goes in that way. So let's see, this is how it goes. So here we go. So the way how this is for you, Virgo, you have the Emperor. That means you have structure. Yes, that's great. That's how it goes, right? Now for them, they have basically knowledge here. It doesn't really generally requires in that way, but that's how it goes, right? That's a good start. So the way how this is, we're going to figure out what's going on in this way, because this is how it is. So I'm going to clarify for you with this Emperor card. 9 Pentacles over, you're feeling comfortable. Queen Pentacles over, you want to have insecurity. The Hierophant reverse, there's no guidance. 2 Pentacles reverse, you're out of balance. But 8 Pentacles over, it does represent the Royal Taurus as well. But the way all this is, you're focusing on more of your career. You want to pay attention. You want to be who you are. That's how it goes, right? This is the way how it goes. This is like a life balance here, where you like it or not, but you have to understand that it's the way how it goes, right? So you have to have your own motivation to understand what you want, what you get, what you provide, because that's how it goes in that way. It's like, alright, this seems to be very interesting, alright, this is how it goes. Now for them, let's say about this King of Swords. So the Measure of Swords, there's no skill. The Ace of Pentacles, there's no beginnings. The Fool is upright, there's change. Yes, because everything's changing, right? So when everything's changing, you think, okay, everything's going to be fine, alright, I know what to do. Yes, but you have to understand that there is a way how it goes. This is not a midnight crisis. This is not how it works. But you have to understand of the way how this is. You're trying to know what's right, what's wrong. That's how it goes. So for you, let's see. Moon Uranus, there's no expectations. What's for them? Sorry, Uranus, there's no inspiration, right? So they're not wish upon a star. Alright, so that's how it goes. Now, let me clarify this Moon card for you. Taurus Uranus is no decisions. The Emperor's Uranus is no nourishment. High Priest Uranus is no inner voice. To those already, there's obsessions, addictions. You're not having a good day, right? You're having a bad day. Virgo, you need to pay attention on how you're feeling, because that's how it goes. You're trying to see what's happening, right? So you're trying to be what's going on from the inbound and the outbound in the situation, right? So when you have violence or whatever you're feeling like that, Virgo, I understand, but for you, your energy is like saying, well, I'm in negative. That's how it goes. When you're in negative, things are not going as planned for you, Virgo. You need to pay attention on how it goes. What's for them, as in Star card? the death card is separate, there's endings. The Emperor Uranus, there's no structure. Full Uranus, there's no change. The Taurus separate, there's healing. Yes, that's how it goes, because you think, well, everything seems to be, interesting, I need to do, but I need to have this own conquest of how it goes, right? So for them, they're basically saying that they want Scorpio as water sign. They are basically saying that they are healing because there was something that was happening in that way, and that's how it goes in that way. For you, let's see what this Death card about. The Death card is upright, there's endings. The Emperor's Uranus, there's no nourishment. The Different Uranus, there's no guidance. Cherry Uranus, there's no progress. Vicious Uranus, there's no skill. But the Tower is over, there's transformation. And because everything's changing for you, Virgo. Everything is changing because you're focusing on Scorpio. If you're focusing on Scorpio, you want Scorpio. You want to feel like you're in love with Scorpio. You're in love with who you are feeling, and that's how it goes. It's like things are going to work out as they are, but you have to try to, how it's going to be in that way. It's like you're trying to jump for joy, or you're trying to look at things in a different perspective. I don't know. But the way all this is, if you're focusing about having endings and you're focusing on Scorpio, go ahead and focus on Scorpio all you want, because that's the way how it works, because you're trying to pay attention on how it goes in that way. For them, let's see about this Temperance card and this Death card about. The Wheel of Fortune is alright, there's good luck. The World of Uranus is in completion. Hangman is alright, there's restrictions. The Strength card is upright, there's bravery. Yeah, so for them, they want bravery. They want to be who they are, where they want, Leo as a fire sign, they want restrictions, they want things to be happening all at once. That's how it goes, right? So it's like things are going to look at a different perspective. That's all they can do, but they want to be resist. That's how it goes. So things are going to be into that perspective, and that's how it goes. So let's see what's in the middle of the situation. The Strength card is right. There's bravery. Yeah. So I just said that earlier, right? They are focusing on both sides are focusing about having bravery. Virgo, you versus them in this situation. This is a good way about knowing about what's going on in that way, where you need to understand that. You need to provide what you're doing in that way, where you need to focus on that, right? You have to believe that, right? So that's just how it goes. So let's see what's going on. So I'm going to go and see what's going on for them. Then I'm going to see what about you. So let's see. So I'm going to go from the middle to the right side. So here from yours, there's no guidance. Followed by the Judgment is alright, there's action. 2 of Cups here, there's no relationship, fruit, or friendships. The Fool of Years, there's no change. The Temperance here, there's no healing. Chariot is upright, there's progress. Star of yours, there's no inspiration. The Empress is upright, there's nourishment. Obviously there is. If they don't want relationships or friendships, forget about them. That's how it goes. But if you're focusing on yourself, Virgo, you need to pay attention on how you're feeling in that way. You need to go with the flow. That's how it goes. Because this is the way of how it works, right? That's how it goes. So let's see what's going from the middle to the left side for you. The Hermit is upright, you want a soulmate. The Moon is upright, there's misrotations. The War of Uranus is in completion. The Night One is upright, there's immaturity. Yeah, because you want to have immaturity. If you are having immaturity, you're acting like that because you want things to be happening all at once. You need to believe on how everything is, because this is going to be enticing of the equation. That's how it goes, right? So you need to believe in order to do that. You need to be having your own successful to understand what you want, what you get, what you provide, because that's how it goes. It's like, this is the way it seems to be, right? This is the way it kind of happens in that way, right? So, Virgo, you need to pay attention on how you're feeling in that way, because you're thinking, okay, well, this is the way how it is. I need to understand that. That's how it goes, right? So that's how it seems to be. And you have to believe in order to do that. It's like, that's how it is. So let's see. So let's see what's going on. So let's see what's going on for the left side for you. The Sun card is over. There's positivity. Yeah, because you want to stay positive. That's what you want. What's on the right side for them? The King of Pentacles here is that they don't have no prosperity about money in that situation. What's the middle of this situation? For Pentacles over, there's prosperity. So they want money in this situation. Alright, so this is how it's going to be. Alright, so let's see what's going on. So the way of this is, let's see what's going on. So let me see what for you with this Sun card for you. Virgo. The 8 of Cups here is no entertainment. The 2 of Swords here, you already know which path you're going to take. 8 of Pentacles here is no prosperity of money. 5 of Swords here is no conflict. 8 of Swords here, there's anxiety. Yeah, because you're feeling like you're sad, you're whimpering, you don't know what to do. You're trying to see what's going to be, right? That's how it goes. It's like, oh, well, this is not going to end well. No, it's not. Because you have to keep going. You have to go with the flow. So you might be dealing with another Gemini or Aquarius in your own terms, but that's how it goes. You have to pay attention on how you're feeling in that way. What is this Four of Pentacles about? The 3 of Wands card, there's communication. The reverse is no obsessions. The 4 of Cups card, you want distraction. Yeah, because you might be thinking about Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, where you want a distraction. You want people to look at you, Virgo. You want things to be happening. If you want communication, you have to communicate. You know, you're acting like you need to be how it is. You're not trying to be offensive. You're trying to be, you know, you're going to feel like you're going to be all defensive. What it is. It's your choice to do whatever you want, Virgo. You have to pay attention about you versus them in this situation. You know, that's how it goes, right? So this is the way it works in that way. For them, let's see what this King of Pentacles about. 6 of Swords, there's no movement. King of Swords, there's support. High Priest, they want to use their inner voice. That's how it goes, right? So the way of this is, you need to understand of how it goes in that way, and you're thinking, alright, this seems to be very interesting. Alright, I know what to do. Yes, but the way of this is, you need to go with the flow in that way, because that's the way it is. So you need to pay attention to how you're feeling in that way, right? That's how it goes. So let's see. So we'll go from the middle to you, middle to them. So 7 Pentacles here, you already know which career you're going to take. 6 Swords, there's movement. 8 of Swords, 8 of Wands here, there's no new beginnings. 2 of Swords here, there's no crossroads. 9 of Swords, there's fulfillment. That's how it goes, right? So you might be doing it in a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio in that way, where you're focusing on that, and because everything is like fulfilled, everything's going great, that's how it goes in that way. So you understand how it goes, Virgo, but that's how it goes. Between the middle and them, for 1 sword, there's celebration. Page 1 sword, there's no invention. 10 of swords, there's conclusions. Ace of Pentacles, there's growth. Yeah, because they are basically saying that they need growth. They need to pay attention that they want to go about what they want, but that's how it goes, right? So they need to pay attention where when they focus about having all these conclusions, they're focusing about it. That's how it goes from the here and now of the situation. That's how it goes, right? So they might be dealing with another Gemini or Aquarius. They might be focusing on another little Aries, Sagittarius. They might be focusing on the Virgo, Capricorn-Taurus. That's how it goes, right, for them in this situation. So let's see what this 9 cuts for you, Virgo. Empress is over, there's nourishment. The Hangman is over, there's restrictions. Yeah, because they're being restricted, right? That's how it goes. So it's like things are really happening all at once, but that's how it goes in that way. What does this Ace of Pentacles about for them? Six of Pentacles are they want kindness. By Queen of Pentacles are they want stability. Yes, that's what they want, right? So they want to act like they want kindness. They want things to happening. They're seeing it in a different perspective. That's all they can do. But they have to resist of how they're feeling in that way. What's the middle of the situation? 5 swords are there's revenge. Yeah, because they're having conflict, right? So in this situation, this is how it goes in that way. It's like this is the way it works. This is the way of how you're going to plan this out. That's how it goes, right? So this is the way it kind of is, right? So you have to understand that you have to believe in order to do that. You need to focus on your abilities where you need to understand that. It's like you're saying that, you know, for you, you're saying that you want restrictions. You want to be like everything's fulfilled and, you know, everything's going your way. Yes. But if you're acting like you're, you know, where you're acting like the devil or you're acting like you're having, you know, obsessions or addictions or you're acting mean, you're acting rude, you're having that potential. You need to understand that you have to focus on how you're going to be behaving. That's how it goes. So you have to focus on that. Yes, there are times where you need to focus about staying positive and not negative, because you have to focus about what you want, what you get, what you provide, because that's how it goes, right? You have to be a very special, Virgo who you are, But the way of this is, you need to focus on what's going to be from the here and now of the situation. That's the way it goes. So you need to believe in your own way. That's how it goes in that way, right? So the universe is saying you're having conflict. You're having conflict between them versus you in that way. And they're thinking, well, why are they not paying attention to me? Or, that's how it goes, right? So you need to understand about how it's going to be in that way, because that's how it goes, right? That's how it seems to be. So this is the way it is. But I hope you all like this video. Please understand this. Please say whatever you want to know, but that's how it goes in that way. And this is how it seems to be. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day to all, and I will see you next time when I do. But this is how it goes in that way, and this is the way it seems to be. So this is the way it works. But that's how it goes. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day to all, and I will see you next time when I do, and this is how it goes. So thank you so much, and bye for now, everybody. Thank you, and have a nice day. Thank you, and thanks, and bye.